Obviously, when you look at utility companies and us being in a rural area, it's hard for them to justify a return on investment to do it, increases in expansions to the systems. So we have to look at other avenues on how they can work at it. Obviously, we have tax incentives that we can possibly offer to utility companies. But there's other monies that could be available that I would encourage utility companies to look for, and I will actively try to look for it. And I don't know if you've noticed on your telephone bill, but there's a line item on there called the Universal Service Fund. That fund is to be used partially for improvement for services into rural areas. And those are aspects that we might be able to look at to improve services, to give them money to be able to put services into this county. Another way is looking at cellular industry. We've had a lot of arguments over a few years about nobody wants a tower in their backyard or want to look at a tower. But there's possible other alternatives that may be able to be used. Riding the countryside, you see a lot of silos. Some of them may be not used. Possible we could use those with agreements with the cellular companies for service antennas. Those are what I would look at for additional services.
Thank you. Mr. Short.
This is probably the question I have the most passion for. And I won't have all the answers here. That's why we have smart people working for us. And the story is, over the last probably 10 months, we've been developing a plan because this is a major issue for business, for residents, for realtors, for farmers, across the whole board. This is the biggest issue, I believe, that is sitting in Kent County right now. And we're doing our due diligence mapping the system out through the entire county, trying to develop the partnerships, whether it's with Atlantic Broadband, Verizon, right on down the line, whoever we can find a partner. Just about 6 months ago, we did a small project in Galena, which took a trunk line to Millington. But by doing that, and that was $60,000 for the taxpayer to run about 6 or 7 miles. But what that did, that opened up the whole Pandora's box in Galena. Atlantic Broadband went in there and picked up the service, but then Comcast has been sitting there for years. Then say, whoa, we can't have this. So it created that little firestorm of, trying to get the most of the business that's there. Common Core, whether you're for it or against it, Common Core is going to be a great asset to us when it comes to this. Senator Mikulski has taken this by her right arm, left arm, feet. She's taken it and running with it. The FCC has developed a plan to start issuing money to rural America in order to best make us sustainable. And by using Common Core as a platform, because our kids live so far out, it also is going to develop other ways for us to develop trunks in order to get into everybody else's home throughout the county. Now again, this is a beginning process. I do not have all the answers. That's why we have really sharp people doing this. But I'm there to support this and make it so that every one of you can do a business in home. We can do whatever we need to do, educate our children. The children can't go to school the next day and say the dog ate my internet.
Thank you. Mr. Coriel.
Thank you. I certainly agree that high-speed internet service would be convenient for many residents of our county, and it may also be a factor for the consideration of some businesses that would be considering moving into the county. However, I basically feel that government is not a business and does not belong in competition with commercial internet providers unless they are unwilling or unable to offer the service that the county needs. If for a short period of time we need to temporarily enter into this type of a commercial endeavor, I would say we should be extremely careful to make sure that we have a way out. This is not something that should be a long-term involvement for our county. Secondly, I would say that, in my opinion, one of the things we very badly need here is a reopening of our Office of Economic Development. We could begin with a realistic assessment of our county's strengths and weaknesses an assessment that would help us attract new businesses or employers to our county, far more so than just providing high-speed internet. A resource that would probably become regarded as something that's automatically there. In any case, I would hope that we all work together to try to bring additional business and employers to our county. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pickler.
Children need connectivity at school as well as at home in order for this to be 100% beneficial to their learning. Internet connectivity is no longer a luxury, but a necessity, just as electricity and telephone service. Our children deserve to have as many of the technological advantages as those in other parts of Maryland. The Maryland Broadband Cooperative, which Kent County is a part of, has installed the backbone for the internet service that traverses Delmarva Peninsula and the Eastern Shore from Wallops Island, Virginia to Elkton, Maryland, following Route 213 in Kent County. Build out of the last mile can and should be done by the commercial service providers. Unfortunately, it appears that Kent County does not fit within their business model, their business paradigm. So if they're not willing to do it, and we want to be in the 21st century, then it's going to have to be done. And I would propose that a public utility be providing subscribed internet access to all our residents. And this would be a combination of both wire and wireless. Our county RT director, Scott Boone, is currently developing plans to possibly do just this. This effort would not supplant private enterprise. But since companies do not appear to be willing to step up to the plate, then maybe we should do it ourselves. This, coupled with the Upper Shore Regional Council, has also been at the forefront of this effort.
Thank you. Mr. Fithia.
This high-speed internet that we're talking about, Kent County has this. It causes Kent County the same problems as almost everything we do in Kent County. We extend water and sewer. There's so few of us, which a lot of us love this elbow room and wide open spaces. I particularly do. But it all comes at a great cost, and people are very hesitant, companies are hesitant to come in and try to do this high-speed internet for such few people in their eyes. And that's where we are. Now, one of the things, I know we're anxious to have it take place, but it is a relatively new concept, and especially here in Kent County. And all of the laws and all of the things that are associated with it aren't in black and white yet. And there's things that our IT department is talking about doing and projects that we're trying to do that we can't get clear answers as of yet. Probably won't happen until after the election. But as Billy and William both pointed out, we don't have a lot of the answers here tonight. We're dependent on our IT department to put together projects. But there's one thing that we all three of us do have in common, is that high-speed internet service to Kent County is the top priority of this board for the upcoming future. That's the number one thing that we realize is very, very important to Kent County. We are going to work as hard as we possibly can. As Billy and William both pointed out, we've had conversations with Senator Mikulski, and we're nailing it down, and we hope that within the next 6 months to a year, we'll see things really take off here in Kent County. That's our hope and pray.